It's a weekly retro party. Party, ooh yeah. It's a weekly retro party. Yeah, Elzo, my name is UAG, and I'm on a fucking mission. Don't you be disrespectful, no bitchin'. And when I play Halo, I'm never missing. So don't be dissing, listen. Overthink game and pop them honeys. Dummies, Playboy bunnies, those wanting money. We call him OTG, he kinda funny. He hating naked bitches cause he like to eat them gummies. What? MadDad's in the mug, don't say shit. Tight ass shirt, don't need to say jack shit. Motherfucker working out every day with that swole ass shirt. Gonna put you in the casket. Party, ooh yeah, it's the weekly retro party. Party, ooh yeah, it's the weekly retro party. Yeah. And now you know a little bit about the host. One from the East Coast, two from the West Coast. We gonna talk about what we gonna talk about. I'ma tell you what we not gonna talk about. Double iiRcade, knockoff games. iiRcade, I ain't saying your name, but fuck a rain, I hate the rain, fuck a Papa Doc. Y'all motherfuckers the same, I hate them games, that's why I fucked your bitch, you fat motherfucker. You never were a friend, you was just undercover. I don't give a fuck if I get canceled. I'ma find your head, slice it off, and I put it on my mantle. Party, ooh yeah, it's a weekly retro party. Party, ooh yeah, it's a weekly retro party. I never find another one like this. I never find another show like this. And I just wanna party, ooh yeah, it's a weekly retro party. Party, ooh yeah, it's a weekly retro party. Party. Subscribe, baby. Subscribe, baby.
What up? What you was talking mad smack, talking about you in the back, blah 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 blah. Where you at? You right here.
Dude,
so you need to be quiet.
I said something. That shit's cheesy. Throwing us in the back, you must have said, "Hey, we'll do that." Right after this.
What's up, my peeps?
Listen, you cutting. I was about to do that. Now you ruined the whole skit.
Well, quit the cheesy shit, man.
That's what I'm all about.
Yeah, that's what
I'm all about the cheesy. What up, MadDad?
What's up, y'all?
What's going on, bro?
Pretty good, man. Miss y'all last week.
Yeah, we didn't tell everybody about your undercover stuff that you were doing, bro.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't, because I would have to come at you.
Listen, we ain't trying to do that. Look, first of all, let's say what's up to all the people in the chat. Thank you for stopping by. We have a special show today, and with the special show, we got to bring on a guest, of course. You know him. He's probably one of the most, I don't want to say influential, but he's done a lot for the community. Whether you know, and with all the companies, he's trying to bring that piece together. Knowing that I'm a hater of the iiRcade, I still brought him on. My man, what up, bro? What up?
What's up, man? You doing all right?
What's up, you guys? I appreciate you guys having me.
Oh, no doubt, bro. You I always told you family. You could just come in here and have a seat at the table. Just don't open the fridge.
Yeah. So let me get a big shout out to my man Moat. He's going through something right now. I called him up yesterday. He's going, he just lost his best friend. So peace to you, my brother. I hope you're doing better. Anytime you need me, call me.
Definitely. It's hard to when you lose somebody, man. So we've all been there. So our condolences to you and the fam, my dude.
Definitely.
So off the top, real quick, how it's Wednesday. We made it through halfway through the week. to tomorrow's football, so that's something to look forward to.
Yes.
OTG, bro.
What's up?
I'm gonna tell you a little secret. It's story time with UAG. Um, I'm going through a midlife crisis.
Oh,
No, I'm dead serious, Bill.
we all
Bill,
are. It's okay.
dude, I bought myself an electric skateboard.
Oh, damn.
I'm gonna tell you something. When
Okay.
you this age, you ain't supposed to be falling. You ain't. I bust my shit, bro. I thought like it looked like a cartoon character because I felt and I saw my feet dangling in the air. And when I landed, I was like this, ooh, ooh. Like when you was young, you could just pop right up, you be good. No, not this time. That shit hurt. That hurt my soul. I think the kids felt that shit while they were in school. Something happened to daddy. Cause that's how it felt.
How long did it take you to get up?
I got up. I got up decently fast because in my mind I was like, someone saw this shit. I gotta get up. I gotta get up.
Hurting all, huh? Just hurting all. Just
Dude, I was in pain, but no one knew it. If you saw me, you couldn't tell. But inside that bitch hurt.
Oh yeah, I got a story, man. I've been off this week. I go back to work tomorrow, and I got the electric skateboard also, but I've been loving it. I've been riding it like crazy, man. Like I've been hitting it. Well, this week I just got done from like an 8-mile run. I got home in the driveway, saw the trash man out there grabbing the trash cans, and I decided instead of stopping, I'm gonna ride up my driveway, and I did that, and I don't know what I did, but I busted ass. Like I fell forward. But as soon as I did that, I had a bag of eggs with me. Like I went shopping because I'm taking advantage of the skateboard, acting like, oh yeah, I could do my errands also. And I fell on the eggs. I showed UAG the picture. The trash man was just looking at me. He started laughing. When he started laughing, I didn't know what to do. I sprung right up and I said, I almost made it home. But he didn't. He just kept laughing. That's it. I was like, all right, cool. And I just walked in.
Surprised you had that camera out.
I love it. Like I can't get off that thing.
Oh, so listen, that was my midlife crisis. But it's fun. It's fun. It's something to get outdoors and not you don't always have to be on these machines all day. Get out, get some air. Get some air.
That's right.
So that's my story. My man, MadDad, you was gone for a minute. How's your week? How's everything going?
Pretty good, man. Working my butt off as usual. And gotta hit that gym every other day. You know how I am. And it's really about it, man. I've been dealing with the stupid ear thing, man. I went to the doctor like 3 times, and you know how you get that in the side. I'm just saying, it's in the back,
This
like
guy's
where it shows.
disrespectful.
Where's it at? But I'm just saying, right there, man. You know how it feels like you're underwater.
Yeah.
That's why it feels like. It's been 2 weeks.
Well, you know that's the first sign of when you should change the battery.
Yeah, but it's all right. I already changed it 3 times. Get Dora Sal, energy, all that. Just saying.
Did they tell you what it was with your ear?
They said it's like something dysfunctional in my ear, and where it's not draining down. The little thing is sitting. It's not draining down, and I was like, they need to hurry up. Because normally it's after like a week or so. You know how sometimes you do that and you hit it and it stops like after a week. But nah, that's all I've been hearing all day. Like I can hear my heartbeat in my ear. You know how it's crazy, man. It's like pissing me off so much, man.
Oh, I get it, man.
I'm hoping that it'll go away here pretty soon. They gave me some medicine and stuff. But I said, I hope this works, man. I spent like at least $250 just going to the doctor every time, man.
Man, I had something similar, but it wasn't that. It was actually a lot more simple. It was I using Q-tips, building up earwax. I've never used Q-tips since then. They didn't give me anything yet. They wanted me, like I was sick at the time. They're like, "We'll get better before you come back." And I just did over the counter shit and cleaned all that shit out, man. And I've never used Q-tips since. But that was different.
OTG, do me a favor and read that one for us, because I don't want to be embarrassed by reading it
super
myself.
chat from Retro Ralph for my guy UAG's future medical bills. Be careful, bro. 100%, man.
So let's get off the top here now. Let's get into the nitty gritty of everything. Let's talk about some of these leaks. Now, first of all, conspiracy theory might say that Arcade1up said, "Hey, we got a lot of bad press. let's change this up. Look at this shiny little ball over here. And they release well, they didn't release it, but who knows? Controlled leak, we don't know. But we see Time Crisis, and let me pull up a image so y'all can see what we're looking at here. Should have had that queued up. But OTG is slipping.
The casket cade. You know what? Everyone in here knows what the casket cade looks like, knows what the banana cade looks like.
Yeah.
But by the time UAG pulls it up, it looks like they made it out of Big Blue. It's got the McDonald's colors. There it is. There it is.
That's what I thought it was. I thought it was a Big Blue mock-up. I don't see why they wouldn't have gone with the Big Buck Hunter look.
Yeah, I actually like that look a lot better.
You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't like it when I saw it, but when I saw the actual one of it, sometimes you got to take some liberties. I know you want to make it look like the machine itself, but sometimes you got to take liberties. And that machine didn't look pretty in the get-go.
Nah.
Right?
Nah.
So you should and then so it wasn't pretty in the get-go, and then you make it narrow. And it just looks out of I don't know. It don't look good to me.
It's kind of like what they had to do with Marvel 2, because there's no real official Marvel 2 cabinet. So they kind of had to, wing it from the top and then go with the Big Blue style. But with Time Crisis, that is an ugly machine in the actual cabinet. So I mean, again, I still think they should have went with the big Buck Hunter look. Just give it that bigger screen, give it more room to get in and shoot.
It feels like it should be wider. It just feels like it should be wider. It looks like a Q-tip at this point.
Now, with that, the devil's advocate is Time Crisis 1 was on PlayStation 1 hardware, so it's like the resolution is horrible. Like it was even for the back then, it was bad. Compared to Virtual Cop. Virtual Cop looked like Virtual Fighter 1, literally, and Time Crisis just looked really bad on a big screen.
So the whole community was in an uproar because they said that the kick plate thing, not the kick plate, the pedal, it was only one pedal. We got two guns. Like, listen, I'm thinking this only got Time Crisis 1. That's a one-player gun game.
No, it's going to have. If they're going to put that there, they got to put at least Point Blank on there.
They're going to put Point Blank, but I'm just saying, like, the Point Blank wasn't that you shoot off the screen?
No, that was you had to shoot off the screen to reload, but that was the only two-player, single form cabinet. I don't even think Time Crisis 1 had two players.
No, you could. I think you could link it. I think that was a linkable cab. Two was.
I believe I know 2 was linkable, and 2 you could at the time you could just hook up both the PlayStations together.
Yeah. Okay. No. So in this cab, I also think that this was a like a mock-up. You got to believe that they're gonna put a coin door and stuff like that.
It's definitely a mock-up. It's
They did that just for us. So we can talk about Arcade1up. So we can just talk about them again.
You know what? I think that's
basically what it is. For real.
Somebody to put Arcade1up back in the spot. It's not a bad move, to be honest with you. Even if to put out a cabinet like that, that's going to get everybody saying this is ugly shit. But
dude, OTG, I'm going to ask you a question from this, because I think that this is actually genius if this is what they're doing. So, our guy Justin, Console Kids, was doing a stream, and he says his conspiracy is that what if it's the ugly Sonic theory, where you put some shit out, it's ugly, everybody's gonna freaking talk about it, make suggestions, and then you look heroic when you come back with the better version. Do you think that's even a possibility, or fuck that? That's what it is.
Oh man, dude. Dude, with Arcade1up, they could do anything like that, but I don't give them too much credit for anything like that. The community did say stuff when we first saw the CNET of Killer Instinct, and they still kept the recess control panel. They kept the things we didn't like. So I don't put too much faith into Arcade1up of doing that, but it is possible that they would. Like, it is funny, but I highly doubt it. I think it's just a mock-up, and they'll come up with something else, something different. But I don't think they're doing that on purpose. I don't know, to look like the. Oh, UAG, what the hell are you doing?
I
over
was
there,
just
man?
showing everybody my shirt. I wanted you to see. I wanted you to see.
I think you're showing everyone your angle, a different camera angle. It
No,
wasn't
no,
about the
no, no,
shirt.
no.
It was more like,
This
check
is
it
the
out.
only way that you can see the shirt.
I got a
I
different
got a
camera
different
angle.
angle too.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah,
let
he-
Zohar
he-
see that.
He said
Zohar
that
gonna need that
and all
shirt.
that just to do that.
I wore it just for him.
Yeah, it was to show off the new camera angle. It wasn't the shirt. But anyway, nice shirt.
You're a hater, bro. You're such a
He said
hater.
the Justin, and then P-Dubs did it afterwards. Now you're the third. Yeah.
No. Original. Digital.
Nothing original about that
No.
camera angle.
I just wanted you to see the damn shirt. God damn it.
There's nothing original in this scene, man. Y'all copy from each other, man.
You
He
damn
did the
cock.
angle. I can't believe it.
Calm
I'm
down,
embarrassed.
cock boy.
I'm embarrassed. I'm on the same show. Fuck. Oh, anyway.
So,
Nice
okay.
shirt.
So, I think that's a possibility. But again, like you said, that's giving a lot of credit.
Yeah.
So,
Or-
but go ahead.
I was gonna say, maybe that's an idea because the biggest thing that the community does, have said about Arcade1up is that they don't listen, and a lot of that time, the biggest problem is they don't listen. It's all right, I'll call John D. Like, hey man, you did this, and he'll be like, all right man, what you think I should do better? But with the community itself, if we're all saying, hey, this sucks, and you might want to take that ugly Sonic theory, that might not have been what they've been trying to do, but OTG putting that in his head might be a thing. Just say, hey man, take the opportunity to say, hey, this we don't like it. We'll buy it if you do this.
Bill, I think you're on it because I'm going to tell you why. Because everybody talked about, damn, we need marquees. Third parties were making marquees. They came out with the marquee. They said, dude, we need coin doors. We're buying them from these third parties. They brought the coin doors. We complain about those lips on the decks. They did do better. They still need to do more because you got me upset when I got this freaking not the Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat's perfect. That deck is perfect. What's the other one?
Awesome.
OTG, the other one that you got.
Oh,
The Yoga Flame. It has a little lip and it's very small, but it still annoys me.
It's not about the lip. What it's about is the control panel. The controller itself, the hole is a little more closer to the edge. And the Mortal Kombat was a little more forward this way. The buttons are a little closer together. Even though the fifth button's in the middle, if they put it straight, they would be closer together. They're further apart. Like I did all the measurements for UAG. He called me like crazy. And then all of a sudden he's oh, I see what you're talking about. Yeah, it's like I personally think they could have brought it up. Especially you only have a little bit of space to work with. Bring them a little closer, make it a little comfortable for that stick. The thing is, I think a lot of people, what I see is they play those fighting games with the joystick like this
because they don't know how to play a game.
I see a lot of people playing like that, and I like that's not
who
how you
plays
play
like
game.
that.
I've seen it. People that aren't really good at
crazies.
people.
Okay, I have to ask you a question, Bill. Since you're our official Evo player level in fighting games. There's a bunch of people in the community that when they're playing the game, they let go of the joystick when they're doing a fireball motion. It drives this one of our dear friends Jago crazy. Is that a technique that real players use, or is that very novice level?
Depends on the game. So using the fireball motion as when you're throwing a fireball. Playing Street Fighter, doing the fire actual Hadouken, you only got a couple of frames before you can actually move again. You might take your hand off the stick just to put it back in neutral. Now you're going back to games like Tekken, where putting your controller back in neutral is an integral part of the actual move in the move set and in the combo. That's something you guys do a lot. You're not going to just toss your hands off the controller unless you won and you just popping off, but you don't generally take your hand off the controller. You just put it back to neutral without, just to get ready for something else. Because going back to Street Fighter, any one frame is the difference between you losing and winning. So it takes at least a half or, 2-3 frames, which is, 3/10 of a second to put your hand back. That's the difference between you winning or losing. So you're not going to just take your hand off the front, off the joystick.
I think a lot of it's from our childhood. A lot of these people are used to going like that, like emotion, like getting their hand off the stick. And I think that's what we did when we were young, just to show that we could do the fireball, and they're still doing that. But yeah, me and UAG, we just laugh whenever we see that happening. But it is what it is. Everyone has different styles. Some people grab the stick underneath. So there's
the wine glass action.
There's whatever. But it's just that style just makes us laugh when we see it. Like where it's like, don't take your hand off the stick, like let it go, like on the air and shit. It's just a little inside joke.
Yeah.
One thing that this is off our subjects, but if you notice the KI Pro today,
it's on there. It's on there.
All right, never mind. You didn't tell us we were gonna talk about that. We'll talk about it later then.
So with that being said, let's go to the next topic at hand, guys. Let's talk about what no one asked for, but it's coming. It's coming. Casino-cade.
All right, before that, you got a super chat. 199 from Console Fanboy. OTG drinking that Mountain Dew is triggering me. And you're the only reason why I'm drinking it. Thank you so hard.
You're gonna go, yeah. So the Casino-cade. Nobody asked for this. I'm sure nobody, but we have to remember this. It ain't for us. It ain't for us. You know why I think it's coming out though right now? It's that Christmas time. And you know what the best time for Christmas? QVC time. All the grandmas are gonna be getting this. They're gonna get it for themselves. The mothers are gonna get it for themselves. The wives are gonna get it for themselves. I'm not getting this game.
I ain't gonna hold you. My mom saw it.
And
I was looking through, and instantly she was like, "Is that your friend?" I'm like, "Oh, that's my man. I see what he's doing, but this isn't something there." She was like, "But it's Wheel of Fortune slots. Can you ask him? Can you buy one?" I'm like, "Well, I don't even know if they're out yet." She wants all of them. I'm like, "God damn it, John D. Like, why would you leave this? Like, we may not have asked for it, but I promise you, the market." This ain't for us. This, just like you said, we ain't the market. But the people who are, just like you said, QVC, the Home Shopping Network, when people see this in Walmart, it's an instant buy. They won't go like hotcakes.
Especially if they play the real one.
This is what I'm gonna tell you, is that there's a lot of people, myself included, that can't get their wives in these rooms to play none of these shits. They ain't trying to play it. They ain't trying to. Now, if they're one of these people that are a fan of these games, like Price is Right or Jeopardy or this, that might get them in the room. But that would be the only reason. I wouldn't get it myself, but I know an old lady. They're gonna get this. Just like, but hold on a second. I thought that about Babycade. And the Babycade didn't sell the way we thought it did. I don't know if it was because of the price point or if it was the concept and idea. I personally think it was the price point. I think at $100, that would have sold.
Yeah.
That's the thing about Arcade1up is their price point. They think they're selling gold when they're not. They fail with everything else that isn't one of the arcade scene. Like I said, the Pac-Man stick, a failure. The Babycade, a failure. The Projectorcade, a failure. The Couchcade, a failure. Anything that they get outside of the arcade is usually a failure. Now, this thing will sell. We'll have no problem selling. But I think it's going to devalue the name Arcade1up. With the name Arcade1up, I don't think the branding should have been the same. Tastemakers should have called it something else. That's me personally. It's going to sell. But for me, buying something as a customer, $1,000 product like the Pro, and then I see the same branding on that, it kind of ruins the branding for me. I want them to show more love and appreciation to the branding. That's me personally. That's how I tell you something, UAG. I know you're chill and you
No. I gotta say this. You told me that argument before, and I was like, no, because I don't think they care about that brand so much. But for what you said as a consumer, that makes a big difference. What is the perception of the consumer, right? You if you're buying like a Rolex, you're not gonna be going to a K Jewelers and shit like that. Yeah. Even if they had it ruins the prestige of that product. So I could see why you would like if you're gonna do a brand like that, do an off brand, do a different brand, do a a QVC brand.
Casino-cade would
You
have been a
know,
cool brand.
You know, and what's crazy is that the price point on these is going to make a difference because I can tell you right now, if these came out at like 200 to 250, I'm gonna have to buy like 5 of them because I can see it now. My mom's going to be like, "Oh, they're only $250." So I'm like, "All right, mom, give me $250." Like you got it, but I'm gonna have to buy like 4 or 5. But if they come out at like 300, that's only $50 more. But that could mean the difference between buying 1 and buying 5.
Like I said, man,
go ahead.
Like I said, I play these things. I sent UAG a video of the actual casino, the Wheel of Fortune one, and I played the hell out of that. And if you play the casino, like if you play it, if it's like that, then I would tell you people will like it. You know what I mean? And
I think people are gonna love it.
If you want to show them the pictures or whatever, what it look like, you probably do that. But still, it's pretty cool, man. Like I said, if it's like the actual casino. Actual slot in the casino, then I would say yeah. If you're like a fan of just playing slots, then yeah, you can do that. But
isn't it kind of funny that they'll have the arcade branding on their Arcade1up logo? It's just like
I don't think they're gonna. If they're smart, they wouldn't.
It's on the box.
It's on the box.
Yeah,
but I don't think they should put a badge or anything like that on there because it ain't for that. It ain't for that audience.
It works for Incredible Technologies. Incredible Technologies actually has a shit ton of slots in real casinos, but then they also got Golden Tee, which goes in bars and stuff like that. And then that's not even counting the Arcade1up redos and our stuff on iiRcade. But it's that the branding itself, different people see the brand as differently. For people who buy the casino gates that are crossovers from the normal arcade scene, they'll look at it, be like, oh, cool, Arcade1up, get it. So, you have an expectation of quality. At the same time, other people are going to say, oh, Arcade1up, those are guys who make the casino games. And, that's what you might get crossover with different things. Then people who may not have still bought one of the millions of Pac-Mans might start picking up that too. Like, oh, I remember buying Pac-Man. Let me get that too.
Bill, what you're saying is what I always think that they do. Like when they did the HDMI console, that wasn't for us. That was for people who's trying to buy a last minute gift, probably right there at the counter.
Oh yeah.
You try to hit every avenue, and so this is going to probably be for the older demographic or the female demographic that they weren't touching before. Right. So I understand their logic, but at the same time, it's not for us. But if we always wanted something not to happen, now maybe that will fund something.
The problem with the casino cades I can see is that John D is one of us. And by one of us I mean like he's a gamer like we are. The games that we play are the games that he play. He might not be the right person in Arcade1up to market these. At the same time, he might be the perfect person to market it. You see what I'm saying? It's a double-edged sword. It's a gamble on his part. He could play it safe and throw it to one of his people and say, let them start, advertising it. And then, John, kind of like the Arcade1up Infinity Game Table. He doesn't really market that. We might talk back and forth on it, on stream just about, things that we're doing together, but he doesn't really market that. But he's heavily involved in it. And that could be the same situation with this, where other people are marketing it, not him, because we're looking at him like, this isn't what we do. You're supposed to be one of us. Like, what are you doing? Mm-hmm. But then when you see somebody else market it, he's going back to looking like, okay, he's not there, but it gives the perception that he's working on problems that we do have with, not with him particularly, but with the product, like the problems with Marvel vs. Capcom 2, the problem with Blitz. If he's not marketing personally, then that's where he gets into. Then we're like somebody said, free John D. Like, you got, man is busy all the time. So with as long as he's not doing it, we have the perception that he's working on our stuff.
The perception is everything. But at the same time, there's people, myself included, they're saying, okay, you're coming out with this, but where's my online on Blitz?
Yeah.
Where's my online on Marvel vs. Capcom 2?
And
Like,
that's where you see it. You don't see him in these pictures. You don't see him actually marketing it, but he's in charge of it all. He's VP of all this. So this is his lane. But when we don't see him because we know who he is, he's part of us. Then we're like, okay, I don't see John D's. We're here. He's got one of his people working on it, so that means he's working on stuff for us.
You might, Jay. You might.
I got a question for you guys. Looking at that picture, going back to the casino cades, you can see a small box on a stool. It looks like we're on one of those little display, little circle things. And you see the blitz cap on the side for scale. Do you think that's just a little show box and it's actually gonna be a 3/4 scale, or do you think that's gonna be something mini, like a collector cade? But you see Vanna White on the side over there looking like it's tall. So I don't know if that's going to be a 3/4 or if it's just a little box or what. What do you guys think?
But these are slot machines. What's 3/4?
Oh, you know what I mean? The size of a 3/4 arcade versus a little collector cade. That's what I mean. Like the size. You see, like it looks like a little box like this. But do you think that's just a display box and it's really going to be like way bigger?
It looks like the party cades to me.
It's going to be the party cade, but I'm thinking he's talking about the size. But you know what I think it is, bro?
Huh.
Remember the mod that Welcome to Die showed us, where these guys built these stands for the party cade?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think it's gonna be like that with a little stand, kind of similar to what MadDad's did for the countercade.
all right.
That
height
height.
it wrong. Yeah. Everyone's seen it. Yeah. All right.
Oh, okay.
All right, I get it now. I was wondering because I thought it was gonna be like a big ass arcade, like a 3/4.
No, that's a party cade. They're repurposing the party cade, add a handle to the side, and you good to go.
Hey, do you think that handle? Because in modern, you go any casino, they're not functional. Some
They're
of them
probably
are.
they're probably looking. They're
functional.
probably just a look at.
Yeah, just to look at you. It's gonna be normal, right, to keep you addicted, Pressy. Oh man.
So, but I got some good news for so there's good news, and I think it's even better news. Let's talk about the not the perception first. KI Pro, what that was about 2 weeks ago, that announcement, right? OTG roughly.
Yeah, I don't know when it was, but yeah.
Let's just say it was 2 weeks. If it took 2 weeks for it to sell out, because now it is actually sold out. It is sold out. 500 units, 2 weeks. That doesn't seem like a high demand.
All right. There's people all over the community that knew a little trick to, if you put in like way too many, it'll say, okay, you got 183 in your cart, 140, whatever was left of the stock. People were doing that every day, sending me screenshots. There's 140 left, 130 left. Yesterday was like 120 something, I believe. But it's been selling like real small amounts like as the days go by. Do you think Arcade1up really sold out and the website information we're getting was wrong, or someone just buy it all out, or do you think on purpose they're just showing it sold out?
It could be a couple of things. It could be Arcade1up said, shit, let's cut it off to let it only be 400 and 26 sold, and they were like this, that we're good to go.
Now let's say they only had 500 available. What happens when somebody breaks theirs? What happens when a firmware update happens? They got to have a couple on hand just to be able to give to people in case something happens.
At least, I would say.
Yeah.
So this is what I'm happy that it's sold out, regardless if it's made up or not. Let's say that it's legit. They sold out the 500. I'm more excited because that means that they're gonna say, you know what, there is a demand there. That means more pros are coming. And if you feel that that's the case, there's a poll in the chat, guys. We'll be, giving up the poll. I was asking, what are you more excited about? So let's go ahead and vote on that. But that would be me. I'd be more excited than knowing that the more pros are coming. OTG, what are you excited about? It's sold out, or you want it?
KI Pro, that's it. After that, I'm happy.
I shouldn't even ask this guy that question.
I'm being selfish, but for all the other people, you know what? Even if I don't like it, I'm happy for y'all. If y'all, nah, sorry, you did just using your line. But yeah, I know people want the Star Wars Pro, and everyone has their own machine, Pac-Man, and all that. I'm super excited for the KI Pro, and I want to be overly annoying. So that's just my thing. But I hope it sold out. So I hope it was good for them. I really do. That's it. And I do want to see another Mortal Kombat Pro or XL for sure.
I don't
And
want to
then
see none of that.
like,
I want to see no more things that we already have. If they do another Mortal Kombat, they got to add Mortal Kombat 4. I want to see, even now if they're doing Tom Crisis, there's very, very, very little reason. And I'm speaking from, consumer and business standpoint. It's very little reason why you can't get Tekken. There's very little reason why you can't do Tekken Tag. You can't do Soul Calibur.
I think that's the next fighting game. Next year, I think that's the next year's fighting game. I don't listen. He said every year a fighter's coming. He was too excited and too happy, freaking Evo, when he came back from the freaking Namco freaking suite. And he was talking to the people that created that like a couple of weeks ago, and he was talking about the licensed person like a few months ago. Oh, that's happening. That's happening this next year. Dude. Write it down. I told you I was going to tell you.
Or Tekken Tag.
Yeah,
one of those two games have to happen.
Dude, I think a Tekken's coming 1 through 3. I don't know if they'll do Tag right away, but for sure we'll see a Tekken cap. I have a feeling.
And before we even get into it, if you're not busy, you can do this. If not, right now, get Code Mystic on the call. Tell them they need to do this. They need to do it right. Give us spectate. Give us all the stuff that we want. Let's not play games. This is a title that deserves the stamp of approval.
Man, if they do Tekken Tag, I'm telling you, I'm taking a couple weeks off. I need to get back in the gym. I'm gonna start as soon as Tekken Tag gets announced. I'm bringing out the PlayStation 2. I'm gonna get some practice in. I'm getting back on there.
Please have online on it. Please.
And with Bill still in practice, this motherfucker, we invited him to play the was it KOF 15?
Yeah.
We were like, get out of here. Like no one had a chance of winning. It's good. I can imagine how good you'll be at Tekken Tag. Like I've spoke like out loud about how I feel about Tekken games and stuff like that. Like I like to play them for fun. I'm not good at them. I never really get into them. I ain't gonna lie. Like I'm saying no more cabinets. I'm not gonna buy any, but I that is one that I may go against my shit. Like for real, even though I'm not the biggest fan of that game, I think it would be really cool if they put that shit out.
Yeah.
Like, so
this one's for you.
Good games, Rhea. Those some pretty good games too. I like those too.
OTG, this one's for you.
All right. 499 super chat from Console Fanboy. If their MK2 Pro doesn't have lobbies for $1,000, trust me and believe I will have 100 videos a week on the topic, which Zohar 100% you should, because I think for Mortal Kombat, we know you're a big fan, but there's other people that are fans like me and UAG that would love to play that game on the mats, that we would love to have a fun spectate mode along with a good online experience and just have fun with it. Like that's the biggest thing, is the online experience on that wasn't what we were hoping for. So in that reason, I would want to see another Mortal Kombat cabinet. Yes, I would love to see it with part 4, but realistically, shoot, the way things are looking with Blitz and Marvel vs. Capcom 2, I just want those games on the 30th online and done right with lobbies, or even if they could redo whatever's, I don't think they can save whatever's out right now. I just want a good
basically just fix the MVC2 and Blitz for y'all, please. I'm waiting. That's why I haven't bought it, man. I was waiting to see.
Man, that's good. You didn't
buy it.
I
waited. I said, hold on. It don't sound right. When I don't buy stuff, it just didn't sound right.
Yeah.
And I was like, I really want it, but I was like, nah.
Those two games, it was too pushy, right? Do you agree?
Yeah, it just seemed like it was just different.
Too pushy.
And I was like, nah, I'm gonna just hold off for a minute. Let me wait till UAG get it.
It just something was up with it. Like it just didn't feel right.
But yeah.
So for the real Zim actually said the original Tekkens are System 22. So that's a catch-22. The System 22 was PlayStation 1 hardware. Just literally a PlayStation 1 until Soul Edge came out. Soul Edge and Simpsons Bowling are actually on extremely similar hardware. And then that's the same hardware that Tekken Tag is on. But it's basically a PlayStation 1 with like 2 more megs of RAM soldered on, which is actually a big thing. But Time Crisis actually runs on the same hardware that Tekken 3 runs on. Rave Racer actually runs on the same hardware as Tekken Tag. So theoretically, they already have the emulation built to support that hardware. But Tekken Tag also has protection on it. And if they're going to redo it, if they use something like MAME 2016, they're going to need more powerful hardware to do it. But if they're going to redo it like they did Rave Racer, they could get away with it on the same hardware that they put Simpsons Bowling on.
Okay.
My man knows what he's talking about. So he's saying it's a possibility.
Yeah. So
with the hardware that they have,
only pure technicals. If I wanted to, I can't because I work there now, but I could get Tekken Tag running on Arcade Legends Pro, or Arcade Legends Ultimate, or it'll probably work better on Arcade Legends Pinball. But it's not that hard to emulate. It's just getting it right and then getting the protection right, because then you got to do the online gameplay on Tekken Tag, and if you don't do that right, you might as well not even do it.
You know what? It's funny. I'm not really. I can't stand tagging games. But Tekken Tag is the only tagging game that I love so much, man. Damn, that game's good, man.
It was good, man.
Yeah. It just worked. That one worked big time.
Bill, we got to talk about a company that you still deal with, not so much as you did before, but iiRcade. They came out with what they call a banger, Ninja Baseball Batman. And you know what? I wouldn't be doing it justice. Hold on a second, guys. Let's go ahead and bring up the trailer that they have. I just want you to see it. Now, I will tell you this, Bill. It's a fun game.
Oh yeah,
it's a very fun game.
Yeah, I could tell you that. Me and my son.
I think a lot of us discovered this game about maybe a few years ago when the pandemic started, and we all built RetroPie arcades and got an image built, and we came across this game and was like, yo, the game is kind of fire. Right. So it's not a well-known game. It's very an obscure game. I believe they only made 1,000 units of this arcade, and about 45 of them were in the States. So chances are you did not play this in the arcade.
No. I never even seen it arcade. I when I heard Ninja Baseball Batman, first time I seen it on name, just downloading one of those big packs before actually looking at it, I thought it was a Batman game. Like, I didn't know it was what it is, but it's actually a really, really fun game. And to be honest, with I think this is one of iiRcade's probably bigger wins, and I think it deserves more marketing and more towards it than it needs, because this is one of those big games.
So, with your logic, you would you say that this is a gem for them, like a crown jewel that they could be able to hang their hat on, make their own cabinet, whatnot, and tout this to other publishers? Like, listen, we got Ninja Baseball Batman. Give us Street Fighter. You think they'll be able to do that with this particular title?
Not with this. Not to go to a Capcom and say, give me Street Fighter with Ninja Baseball Batman. But now here's the kicker: if Ninja Baseball Batman actually gets to like top 10, then it might be something. With people going out for, especially with their relationship with Sega, with them going out to say, hey, we was able to do this with that. Why can't you give us something, again, go back to their obscure titles. Why can't you give us Fighting Vipers? Even if they're not going to give Virtual Fighter, why can't, how long is your embargo with Arcade1up before you give us Golden Axe?
So this may not get them the grade A, but that they're going up another tier.
Right.
Okay.
I would, if I was iiRcade for this particular situation, I'd be going for the Konamis. I'd be looking at games, definitely looking at Bloody Roar, the Arcade Beasterizer. I look at Bomberman. I look at Neo Bomberman, especially Neo Bomberman, because Neo Bomberman has hacks that you can play. And with iiRcade's current technology, you could have 6-player online easily with Bomberman.
Hey, UG, can I say something about this game? Can
please,
I please?
Please.
Can I please?
The floor is yours.
So I'll say one positive thing before I start talking about Arcade1up. I'll start off with a positive thing about them. What I like what they do is they bring out games like this and they hype them up, especially a game like this. I looked at it. and I had never played it, but I heard a lot of people from the community saying it was a great game. So yesterday I went on one of my little Chinese knockoff systems. It was on there. I played that game. It is a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. I didn't beat it, but I beat the first 3 stages. I went through a couple characters. I was like, damn, this is fun. The bosses are fun. Like, I love getting the baseballs, throwing the plates. Like, it was a lot of fun. But the one thing, the problem I have though, is what Jong does. Not necessarily him. I don't want to put the blame on him. Anyone with Arcade1up, I think it's overly hyped. And I think during the announcement, it was a new announcement. So a lot of us were like, okay, well, what's a new announcement? Is it going to be something? This is their time to shine. This is their time to shine. Right after everyone's like kind of upset at 1UP. And then there was the Ninja Baseball, but which is cool. It's definitely cool that they announced it. And I don't care about that overhype, but it was what Jong did during that thing. He was all like, with the audience, he's all like, this is a AAA game, right, guys? Is this a AAA game, right? And everyone in the audience is, yes, AAA, AAA, AAA. Now, AAA, like what the iiRcadians are saying is that's very subjective. But if you actually look up the definition, it's something like it's like a credible company, like a company that's put out
a AAA studio.
Is
essentially a studio that you've considered AAA. Games themselves are in AAA. The company who makes them are AAA. And even with that said, you go into it takes Street Fighter for example. You look at Street Fighter, you know it's a AAA title.
Yeah.
But Street Fighter EX is not. Street Fighter EX
not.
was made by iiRcade. And that doesn't mean that it's a bad game. Just because it's not a AAA, just because it wasn't developed by a AAA studio doesn't mean it's a bad game. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is currently not a AAA title. But it's AAA because it's from Capcom. It's the original stuff is there.
That's why I looked up
people
this
throw
company.
AAA around, and I guess it's me because
I think that's a very loose term these days. Like I would say that this is a great title for them. This is going in the right direction.
Yeah.
We can't say that this is a AAA title, and I think that it's a little bit of misleading in that sense when you do that. Now you could say that this is a great title and this is putting us in the direction and now we can be in a conversation.
Yeah, that was the
if they put it online, it'd be pretty nice.
So you have to look at it with IRM themselves. IRM themselves are not a AAA publisher. Yeah, they are an A publisher. And this is based on technicalities and all in the business. IRM are not, none of those IRM titles are AAA titles. The only real AAA titles, from companies they have are Data East, Taito, and Sega. And, and I think there's like a couple more, but those are the big ones. Data East, Taito, Sega. And with everything else coming in, they're not AAA. Like Rage of the Dragons. Nice. Arc System Works. Arc System Works is another one. They're not AAA either. It's that if you take a game like Dragon Ball Fighters, it's AAA in a sense because it came from Namco, but it wasn't made by a AAA studio. And worse, Jago, he made it.
This is a great
AAA
point.
should mean system seller, but it's not that. But that's how we use it, and that's how we consider AAA games. Is it a system seller or is it isn't, or is it not? And the term AAA is so loosely thrown out there that we just use AAA to say it's a good game. Any game that is Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat or something like that, that's what we say is a AAA game.
Yeah. If you put it on a system and it sells, then that's basically a AAA.
Yeah, if I still had the iiRcade, it definitely would be a game I would buy. And I'm happy for them because at least this one, I think like the other one I told UAG to try, what was it, the Donut Dodo? That game was good, man. There's a lot of good games on there that I do like. But I think this is one for sure. Like you said, headed in the right direction. That was just the only issue I had with that stream. I'm like, man, it was kind of like just seeing everyone in there kind of agree whenever they were commanded to. It just threw me off. But
even back in the day, a lot of people were asking about that game though, because that game is actually pretty fun. They were putting that even in the Kickstarter back in the day. They were like, hey, put that game out.
It was like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I will have this segues. This is kind of ties this together. And I want to talk about all the companies here when I go to this. Criticism of the company. Now, we are consumers. We're super fans. We're probably the most hypercritical demographic that they'll deal with. We want everything to be the best, and we want it at a cheap price, right? And so we're gonna hold them more accountable than the average consumer. The average consumer probably would let a lot of this shit slide. But do you feel that they're a little too thin skinned when you make a criticism of them? Um,
No,
some might say that Arcade1up, they usually are tough skinned, but then you have John D that sometimes he gets personal, like when you're talking about the company, he feels like you're talking about him, right? So, and I think it's because of the community. They hold him as the face of the company. So when they get mad at when you get mad at AT&T, there's no face there. You're mad at AT&T. But when you're mad at Arcade1up, you are mad at John D because you think he's the company. and,
So so let's
and-
look at that.
go
I can
ahead.
actually go. I can give you insight into that itself. You get pissed off at Jong when things don't work right. It's me, and when around the time I first got into it, it was the issue with me and Metal Slug. Everybody knew what happened with Metal Slug. I lost the license. Jong got blamed for it. Jong was like, you got to be careful when you're announcing certain things. And then, when I took that to heart. So there's a lot of games that, back then I used to just throw out whatever I felt, whatever's in my head. So now I'm a little more selective with how I announce new games, new titles, because we have like 4 titles working on right now. And we got bowling out. We're working on new updates for bowling, but we got other games that we're working on that six would kill me if I if I said something about. But then, I work for at games. At games is my 9 to 5. So I definitely am not risking PK firing me because that pays my bills. Then, with iArcade, we don't talk about the games that we personally do. With Arcade1up, I don't talk about the stuff that I do with John D unless John D's already talked about it. And then within these companies, none of them know what the other are doing. I'm the only link, and nobody knows what the other person is doing because my what I do with everybody else is completely different, and it's like that for a reason because I don't want a conflict of interest. I don't want to work on
Mm-hmm.
the same exact thing for Arcade1up that I'm working on for Ad Games because what I do with Ad Games I don't do for Arcade1up or for Bash. So when I work with everybody, they go from there. But then getting back to your point with criticism, we as consumers had looked to these people to say, hey, you said you're going to give me this. You are the person that I plan to yell at. When bowling goes bad, nobody's going to yell at Fairs. Nobody's going to they're going to get mad at Ryan. No one's going to get mad at Six. They're going to get mad at me. Everybody's going to come to me, and that's cool. I'll take it. But you're not going to get mad at the individual person. You're going to get mad at the person who says, "I'm bringing this to you." So when John D, everybody's mad at John D for Marvel vs. Capcom 2. He's not a developer. He's not developing anything. And that's not a strike against him because he's a damn good producer. He's one of the best producers in the game, but he's not a developer. And the thing about John D is that he's still a person. He's still a regular person. Everybody gets pissed off. Everybody gets angry at things. Jong is not a developer. Jong is the
Mm-hmm.
head of iArcade. Mike is a little bit different because Mike's a producer, but Mike is actually a really good developer too. Mike comes from the AAA world. He comes from Bethesda. So he's, you might get mad at him and he'll take it a little more personal and he'll go and try to fix things himself, kind of like what I do with Bash. But you get mad at the person who said, I'm going to give it to you. If you UAG said, hey, I'm going to ship you this shirt. I'm going to make the same shirt I got for you. I'm going to give it to you. You didn't make the shirt. You just know where to get it from. You got it. You got it to me. It doesn't look like the same way to you. I'm mad at you. I'm not
Yeah.
mad at the guy who made the shirt. And that's how we all look at it.
Yeah.
So
It's normal.
I want to say this then. So when we're under the criticism, and sometimes when criticism happens, the company or they listen. Like I said, we talked about, damn, these marquees are shitty. I wish I had a real marquee to make it look like I'm really in arcade. They took that criticism and implemented it. They talked about how the artwork didn't flow with the risers. They took that, they implemented. So criticism can work sometimes. Then there's some that they want to bury their head in the sand, like, oh, this is messed up with XYZ, and they act like nothing happened, and then or they'll get defensive. Like Arcade1up has been defensive, iiRcade has been defensive, Ad Games has been defensive. You know, I just think that as a company, you have to have thick skin and be able to accept the criticism. You think that Nintendo gets mad when they hear about 100,000 people disliking a release that they have? No, they're Nintendo.
You know what?
You gotta put your big drawers on.
The biggest thing that I've seen, not so much with Ad Games, but a lot with Arcade1up, a lot with iiRcade, is that they very, really underestimate the power of MadDad. and it's real because it's like, if they did something, they under deliver. They don't deliver on something. They said, hey, I'm going to get you something here. Instead of saying my bad, sometimes they double down on it. So for me, everyone knows I've never been afraid to say I fucked up. Sorry. I'll get you a fix as soon as possible. I'll work on it. I'll do whatever it takes to make things right. But sometimes within the company, they underestimate just saying, my bad, I got you. And that's all people want to hear. Even with John D now starting to say, that's what I'm saying. Hey man, you messed up. Cool. Fix it. You got it. And he's really good at that. And that's a big thing I like about him. That's a big thing I like about Mike. That's a big thing I like about John is that when you say, hey, I messed up, I'm going to fix it. Cool. When can we expect a fix? Don't promise a fix at a time. Promise a fix is coming. Promise a release is coming, but don't say when. Just work at it as much as you can.
Saying, man. They should always, every company, man, when you release, if you're gonna release something, test it first. All that stuff should have been done. All this online, all that should have been taken care of for all the people that love these Arcade1ups. I mean, it's been too long. Like it'd be different if they just came out like, let's say a year ago or whatever. You know what I mean? And everything will be fine. But we've been doing this for a long time, man. Everybody knows that Arcade1up been up for a long time. And they should have had this stuff taken care of for all the consumers out there about this stuff.
I'm gonna tell you something. I think you, MadDad, me, all of us, I think that we don't realize one thing. They're not a video game company. They're not a gaming company. They're a toy company. Let's just listen to me, and then you can rebuttal me all you want.
All right.
They sell toys, and what they sell, and they just build a relationship. Hey, I'm the middleman. I'm gonna build you the toy, and I'm gonna get the license for it. But can you make this game run? Can you put it together? And I can sell it for you. That's what they are ultimately.
Let me play devil's advocate there.
Still, man.
If I would co-sign to that, if not for the fact that John D's roots are deeply rooted into the gaming industry, not to mention his biggest FGC advisor is Justin Wong. You have John D, who comes from gaming royalty. You got Justin Wong, who comes from FGC royalty. You have that mix of people working on Marvel vs. Capcom 2. What I would have done if I was in John D's position, I would have, Justin Wong probably has one in his pocket right now. Already had one. I would have gave one to Filipino Champ. I would have gave one to Chris G. I would have had all three of them in different locations, and then have them, demonstrate on YouTube or something. Have it say, hey, this is where. This is how the online looks. Have Filipino Champ and Chris G playing against each other, in different locations. That's advertising, one, because these are two Marvel vs. Capcom 2 greats. Once they're playing, and then you're seeing it online, you're playing at their normal level online, you instantly know Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is good.
Bill,
if he did that was perfect.
I'm going to tell you right now, the reason why we got the game is because they're in there, because they have the passion for it. But you work with all three of them. You see the differences between communication, between company, like departments and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. John D may feel this way, but the people that are in charge, they don't see it as what John D sees it as. He sees it as a gaming company that he knows what to do to get things done. But if your top boss thinks that you're a toy company and you're just gonna sell whatever you can sell that's hot right now, that's a difference of thoughts.
Well, let's
Yeah,
look
but
at
I'm just
that.
saying,
But
like, I'm just
even
saying,
with that said, these games aren't going to sell like that. Pac-Man, that would be the situation with Pac-Man. That would be the situation, even with these driving games, maybe. But with Street Fighter, you're limited to the FGC. Only people who are going to spend that much money on Street Fighter is the FGC. And then Killer Instinct is even worse because that Killer Instinct wasn't that popular. Mortal Kombat is more popular than Killer Instinct. And Mortal Kombat will sell a lot better than Killer Instinct will. Killer Instinct, the only people who's going to play Killer Instinct and spend that much money on Killer Instinct are people who are good at Killer Instinct, or people who just want to spend $1,000 on the machine.
So if that's the case, if you feel that way, which because I feel that same way, then that's the voice that you need to listen to for those particular titles. Like so, that Marvel versus Capcom, the average consumer is not buying that. It's people from the FGC and all our super fans right here. So why wouldn't you put your best foot forward? Because you know that they're going to be the most hypercritical.
You know why? Money. And here's the kicker with Marvel vs. Capcom 2. It probably sold somewhere somewhere between 1,000 and 5,000 units. Might even be more. I could be grossly underestimating it. But I'm not buying Marvel vs. Capcom 2 for my son. If it was a Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite one, I might, but I'm not. He didn't come up in '99. He wasn't even thought of when Marvel vs. Capcom 2 came out. So it's not going to sell to the same demographic. People who just want to see Spider-Man are not going to get Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is a hard game to play. It's not. The barrier to entry is extremely high in Marvel 2. And up until Marvel 3, really, the barrier to entry to playing this game, especially playing online, you're not just going to get in and play. You're either the greatest or you're horrible. And you're not going to really get in between with that. So you're not going to, the average user who just can't play it ain't going to get it. And you may get a bunch of sales from that, but you're not going to get enough to justify somebody coming in like a Digital Eclipse, Digital Dreams, Cold Mystics to justify that amount of money to come in and spend it.
Yeah, because they had to sell all that MBT and Bliss to get the casino case to come out. That's how I feel about it, And this everybody's gonna sit here and say all this stuff about it. They just needed to, just like OTG was saying, they needed to tell people what was going on. They had it on the box, it said online, all this other stuff. They should have just came out and said, look, we're working on it every week or something, man. Like, don't just sit here 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, or whatever it is. People bought this thing. And it's just, I'm mad. I'm glad I didn't buy it, but I'm just mad that everybody else did, and they don't have what they actually paid for.
Somebody just said, just said everybody in the FGC is broke. They're not spending the money on it. All of us ain't broke from that.
He ain't lying, but he ain't lying. It's the poorest of all the genres.
It is the poorest of all the genres. Yeah. He has a point, and to be honest with you, Fightcade is just superior right now, and it's free. Not nobody's fault. It's not John D's fault. It's not anybody's fault. Fightcade is free.
Yeah. You know what? Me and UAG were there at Evo, and we saw it with our own eyes. Every person that we were trying to tell them, they're like asking UAG why he was here or whatever, or whatever. Yeah, I don't know how they knew. Whatever reason, I saw UAG. He was selling it to these people, and they're like, "But we want it on console." UAG was a salesperson on the street. He was part of the street team. He was selling that. They were like, "We want it on console. Like we don't care about the arcade."
No, all of them said that. All of them said that, and all of them said it's really not free unless it's on console.
Yeah, and where's Jago has a point. It's us older people in this community that are buying it. That's about it. Like I don't think a lot of these FGC people are gonna get it. It's true. There's some people that are in there, of course, but I don't think majority. I think most of it's gonna be just old people who love the game.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get my confidence back in.
Worst Jago is absolutely right,
man. Because I kind of lost it a little bit. So
I stopped playing Big Blue because the competition just ain't there. I stopped playing even on iArcade. I used to play Breakers all the time, but literally nobody could beat me. And it's not because I'm the greatest in the world in breakers. I'm just the greatest on iArcade, and that's because I play on Fightcade.
There's not the killers are on Fightcade.
Yeah, that's where you get all your. That's where you have all the fun. That's where you actually lose. You know, if I, the problem with playing these on these cabinets is that I'm not going to lose. And if I'm not going to lose, I'm not going to get better. I'm going to get bored.
But I'll ask you this, because you mentioned it. If you're getting these type of games like Marvel vs. Capcom, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, you're either great or you're terrible. And so I would say on the average, you can get on Big Blue and maybe win, like even casual.
On Friday night.
But and then what's that other game, like a KI? You can probably get Mortal Kombat, but when you get to Marvel vs. Capcom and Marvel vs. Capcom 2, when it finally comes online, you're gonna turn that bitch off. You're gonna turn it on. And you're gonna turn that bitch off because you're gonna realize that you ain't good.
Yeah. All it takes is for somebody who never came in and played before that's going to pick Wolverine. Might pick Cable, might pick Ryu because that's who they know from Street Fighter. To see somebody who got Magneto, Sentinel, and Psylocke. It's a wrap. You know, they're not hitting the ground. And the average person who just comes in and just coming in the arcade, they're not going to play these people. You know, you're not putting your quarter on the glass to these people. You're going to get in where you can play a game that you might be good at. You know, that's probably a huge reason why Third Strike ain't on there. Third Strike is, it's easier to play than Marvel 2, but it's the same.
You got to have skills, right?
You either the greatest or you're not good at all. It's no reason to pick up the sticks.
Dude, I ever told you the story about me and X-Men versus Street Fighter? The first week, I was like, nah, this shit is done. I'm done. I turned it on. I didn't hit the ground for like 3 straight games. I said, this is not my game. That system was out my house within, I think, 2 months, 3 months.
He said he wait for Big Blue. He can play that.
Big Blue, I felt, it was so different. I said, thank you, Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
But that's my only issue with these. To me personally, I would take it if it wasn't for the fact that I got to work, I got all this stuff to do with at games. I'd just take my Big Blue and I'd hack it just to get into Fightcade and use it just to play that, just to have the sticks itself. Other than that, ain't a real point. And if I get me a new Marvel vs. Capcom 2, I'm just going to throw Capcom vs. SK2 on it. It's already emulated. It's you don't even actually have to hack it. You just got to kind of know what you're doing. It's not that hard.
You got to be smart. No, you got to be smart. That's
why I'm buying.
You won't be able to do it, but I can do it.
No, I mean it's really, really not that hard. Believe me when I tell you, it's not hard.
Listen, you're talking to a guy who they had to listen. Team Encoder had a dummy-proof thing to fix your buttons. I fucked it up. They were like this, yo, we got to make it even easier, bro. Because this guy can't even do it.
First of all, shout out to Team Encoder because those guys are my heroes.
Is it really that easy? Can UAG pass it?
He said we made it dummy-proof. UAG can do it. The community can do it. That's it. I was their test bench. Oh, that was too funny. So then it was a long about way to say in this. I think these companies are very too sensitive. Like, dude, I own 2 iArcades. They suckered me twice. Right? Now, I will tell you this. Best quality out there by none. If you like games, obscure games, this is for you. They have a lot of great B titles. They have a lot of titles that that you may be a gamer and just want to try out. But for me, I'm going to something that I remember playing. I don't remember none of these games. I've never seen none of these games. So for me, it wasn't for me. But I supported, Bill, let me say, I supported this company from the get-go. And for them to block me because I don't like where the direction that they were going, That's not cool, bro. That's not cool.
You like the direction they're going.
Well, let me ask you this. I mean, only because with you, especially you and Richard Ralph, it ain't like you guys were disrespectful. In my opinion, I could be looking at something wrong. I don't see you guys disrespectful. I see you guys as honest and opening for the conversation. And if you weren't, I wouldn't even be on the show. You know how I am about iRcade. You know, Jung's my guy. You know, Mike is my guy. These are my people. And that plus, I make money with those guys. But I think the conversation should have. I think, one thing that's missing in this community really isn't so much as advertising from one spot to another, because that's where it goes into the whole Arcade1up Illuminati. That's where it goes into, the iArcade, they're giving these people this, they're giving a perception that they're favoring certain people. And even with that, if they would sit and say, hey, look, business wise, it just makes more sense. Even people were asking me, there was like, why did I have certain at game stuff than, before everybody else did? Because I worked there. You got people know what I do. So it's like, obviously I got this equipment for a reason, but with, with this stuff, if they would sit down and have the conversation. Now it's different with PK. PK been in this business for over 20 years. He's been doing at games, has been around for way longer than everybody else, before Tastemakers started doing Arcade1up, before iArcade was even thought of. But at games was here doing these things. But PK is not going to put himself. He's going to do business the way he's been doing business. And to be honest with you, he's a really cool dude. He me and him talk all the time. He's when I mess up, he tells me, hey Bill, you messed up. When I do good, he say, hey Bill, everything's good. But with everything else, the conversation just needs to be had. We all need to sit and talk and say, hey, this is where we go from there. That's why even with me coming on these shows, because the unique thing about me is that I do both on top of being a developer. I don't see too many developers in my seat. And that's because I come from, the community itself. One of the few developers that come from the community is there's only like 3 of us. And I'm the one who talks to everybody.
Hey, UAG, I'm going to have to go, man.
Oh, you got to go? Well, you gotta go.
I have my cousin here. I feel bad, dude. He's been waiting this whole time.
Give us 10 minutes. We're going to end
y'all can go on 10 minutes. I got to go. 499 Super Chat from Console Fanboy Bill. On a scale 1 to 10, how disrespectful am I to iArcade? Please be honest. I can't take it.
So, Zohar, I don't necessarily take Zohar seriously, and I don't want to make it seem like he's just some joke or something like that. But I feel like his content is geared towards joking and geared toward being satire. So I don't take Zohar as the definitive. He's just being disrespectful, but he could rub people the wrong way, and and I think he knows that. I think he's gotten that picture, and I've seen a change in Zohar. He's both done different things that piss people off, but he's tamed it to where he's pissing people off the right way, if that makes any sense. So I've noticed a change in him. I don't want him to think that I'm just ragging on him, because I'm not. I really have. I'm not. But I do feel like Zohar has changed the way he comes at things to piss people off. That doesn't rub people the wrong way. It's just like Zohar is a pain in the ass, but he's cool to look at. And I think in the end that's going to benefit him more with his views and subscribers, because it's funny now. Now it's not harmful.
Bill, but what I think is, like, if everybody just realized that it's a joke, even iArcade, if they just realize that it's a joke, and just take it. Like, dude, I bet you he probably sold or brought more eyes to iArcade than iArcade probably did, and they should be cool about that. Like, hey, he's talking about us. People are gonna pay attention to us. Like, I think they're too sensitive about what people who are never gonna buy their product think about their product. Like, just be happy that the people that's buying your product is happy.
Yeah. Hey, UAG, I gotta go, but y'all enjoy.
Go ahead, brother.
Right,
take it easy, man.
That's what I'm saying is, like, just like, be okay with people criticizing you, and just worry about yourself. Like, I think Arcade1up does that to an extent. For this, I would say this is the first time I saw them crack, when it was about Blitz. But before that, they just said, "Freak it, we're making what we're doing, and no one cares."
You know what I learned? Steer into the skid. everybody knows where I started from, and the big thing with me and John D, and everybody was like, "Why are you friends with him?" People don't know what John D did for me in the back end. A lot of these opportunities I currently have is because of advice and mentorship he gave me. So a lot of people was like, "Hey, he's not the host. Like he did this, that, and the third." Yeah, but you don't know what John D said to me here. You don't know what the talks.
Peace, y'all.
John D, take it easy, MadDad. You don't know what John D actually has done for me in this industry. With talking and with making sure I'm in the right place and teaching me the game. So with a lot of things that people complain with John D about, I don't have those complaints because I know the person. There's things that people say about John, but I know Jung the person. There's things people said about at games. Now at games a little bit different because I'm there, so it's like, all right, now this is my home. This is my 9 to 5. I can't really talk too much about that without getting fired. And if I get fired, I got to go to wife.
But you have a unique perspective because you
Mhm.
know the people behind the curtain, right?
Right.
You know the perception that we see from the outside, and then you know the person, and you know what they're about. So you have a unique perspective where we just know the persona that John D provides us online.
Yeah.
But behind the scenes, we don't know all the things that he has to do to get some of these things to happen.
Oh, I
And
know.
if he doesn't care, if he didn't care as a person, then it wouldn't have happened. But
I don't think people know to the extent of with John D. I don't think people knew what John D did for Marvel vs. Capcom. I knew Marvel vs. Capcom 2 was coming a long time ago, and I never said anything to anybody, only because John D was like, any false thing, any leak come out, Disney could pull the project. Capcom might be more willing to let it go because Capcom's gonna get money, but Disney will pull the project. Nintendo has pulled the project for less, pull projects from them for less. So, I don't. There's got to be reasons why they don't have a Donkey Kong cabinet right now, and I'm pretty sure that's kicking his ass. I don't know personally what happened with that, but I do know there's a reason why there's not a Donkey Kong cabinet, and I feel like things like that is why he teaches me the way he teaches me. And if he when he does things the way he does things, even now, I haven't really heard publicly from him in a while. So it's that things where he's probably working on a few things, trying to get things out. Then the leaks that come out and stuff like that, it happens. Still got to steer into the skit. You got to let people know, hey, look, this is what happens. For me, me, I'm on both sides of the aisle. I'm a super professional developer. I do things professionally on the end, and I'm a hacker. I do the same thing. People will come to me and say, hey, what if somebody pirates bowling? You don't have to pirate it. Just I'll give it to you. It's $5. If you want to spend $5,
I love this guy,
install it.
man.
Install it yourself. But it's different with that games. No, don't pirate that games because that's where I work. But you want pirate bowling? You don't have to pirate bowling. Just give it. I'll give it to you. You don't have to steal it. You want it, you can have it. If you don't got $5 for it and you want to play it, take it. There's no DRM. There's no way to get in there. You're not going to get updates, but you'll be able to play it. And that's how I go. I'm going to give you the games you want. I'm going to give you what you need because this is what I do. I do it for fun. Other than that games, I do it for fun and money. But everything else, I do it for fun.
Well, we appreciate you and the community appreciates you. So with that being said, guys, that was the show. We wanted to talk about the leaks. We wanted to talk about the announcements, and we wanted to talk about the criticisms with the company. And I think what we learned today is that the community is very forgiving as long as you're upfront and honest with us. That's all we care about, acknowledgement. And you should be able to take a joke, take some criticism, and do something better with the company.
Yeah.
Not take it personal. So Bill, you got anything to tell the people? Anything that they should be looking forward to?
Nope. Because I'm pretty sure Six is watching somewhere and is going to joke me if I announce stuff. All you do is say keep it tuned out, man. With you, I know Retro Ralph just got unblocked from iiRcade. I'm pretty sure it was all misunderstanding. Take a look at it, but I think at some point everybody needs to really sit down. I think to be honest with you, what would be dope if you got somebody like you got Ralph, you got Dubs, you got Console Fanboy, you got John D, you got Jong, you got Jay with Unico, who's been out the public. You get me, you get different people in there. All of us sit down and have a real conversation about the arcade industry and how we all contribute to it and how we can keep it going, because we're all a part of this community. We're not these giant celebrities that we're not Ed Boon, we're not these guys. John D might be, but the rest of us, we're all in a community. If we all sat down and talked about it, I think everybody would be a lot hyper about what's coming.
Listen, you preaching to the choir. I love that. I hope, listen, I don't wish them no ill will. I want them to succeed. If they succeed, they push the limits for the other companies. Like, all ships will rise. All ships will rise. There doesn't have to be just one, guys.
Yep.
So, anyway, guys, thank you so much for stopping by. Hit that thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And we'll see you next time.
All right, man.
Peace, guys.